Happy Easter. If, like me, you've eaten your body weight in chocolate today, I think we need to get out detecting this week and get some of that extra calories worked off. So what have I been up to? We're back to detecting again this week because obviously this is my new obsession. The problem is, it's just fascinating. Every time I go out detecting, I come home going through what I found for the day, then I'm online on Facebook, ID my find, asking those brilliant people loads of questions, and then I'm like, oh, I found a book haul. I need a book. So I've got a book on bookles now. Then I found a farm token. So we've got a book now. You're getting the drift here. Unbelievable. I'm going to have to limit myself to a book a month. But it's just so lovely to be able to find out the history. And when you find something so simple as that little buckle there, little medieval one from 1350 to 1400, I just love it. So now I thought the other day, we did have a day of rain. So what can you do on rainy days? Well, I should do the housework and I should do my work, my actual job work. But no, well, you can go to B&M and buy lots of little containers that are only £1.50 in the sale at the minute. And then if you're a proper anorak, because the perspex, these don't leach like the plastics you'll see on some of the forums. People say about putting coins into little pouches. Well, that's okay, but then I don't know the technical term, but it's chemical reaction. Basically, it ruins your coins, especially silver ones. So I found these, and now I've lined them all with felt because that's how sad I am. B&M also did these. Now these are a plastic, and they're a hard plastic, so they're not like the little PVC sleeves. Don't know how great, but for my other ones, as you can see, all my favourite bits, I've put them in there. So for different feels, different areas, different commissions, they've all got their own box now. Yes, I know, I'm very sad. But it's lovely, and it's lovely to see the timeline build of an area. But it's also lovely to see my confidence and perhaps abilities building too. Because last September when I started, I honestly didn't think I was ever going to find anything. And when I found that Elizabeth I silver hammer, wow, best day of my detecting life. And I will never forget that. That was one of the most special moments. But then last week, one of my friends said, oh, they've got beans drilled on the field. The beans coming up, but we can probably get in there and then just have a go if you want. Anyway, bless her, she couldn't come. So I went and had an hour. And I found all sorts of fascinating little bits. It's hard to see this, but it's actually really nicely gilded with a pattern. So it's probably an old book clasp, probably, or a strap end or something. There was little bits of, a lot of fragments. So that's part of a bronze ring. And I was starting to think, oh, this is, it was one of those fields where I wasn't getting any rubbish. Everything I got, a little gilded cuff link. And we went across about 5 acres and found another bit of cuff link. And then a beautiful, it's hard to see there, I'll try and put some pictures up as well, engraved button, part of a lead token. So I was having a really lovely day, and then, where is it? It's in here somewhere, yeah, when this popped up. Now I knew, and it's very hard to see here, but I'll pop one up in the corner, my first Roman coin. Now I know, do you know what's so lovely about the Roman and finding these things is the history. There is so much history. I love the fact how old they are, 1500 years old, and that's just been sitting there waiting for me to find. So exciting, but value-wise, there's no big value. We don't have to worry about the treasure laws. I don't have to worry about feeling like I owe my friend, because that would, if I find something that was so valuable, I'd really want to keep it and I wouldn't be able to afford to. So, or it would have to go to treasure, obviously. But this is so fun, and I have a really generous friend who's like, oh, that's yours. So that's lovely. Anyway, this week we had a day when we had 50-mile-an-hour winds. That's the sort of day you should stay at home, isn't it? But that was the day she messaged me and went, should we go? So yes, we went. And her son, I think, how old is he? I think he's probably 12, 11 or 12. Anyway, his first proper day out detecting. He's got his own detector now. He's actually got a 540. And so we got him going, got him up the field. First thing he found was a Roman coin. Oh, what a lovely way to start your detecting hobby. And I was so excited for him. And then after that, I found 6 Roman coins. And it was the most, I don't know whether I'm becoming a bit numb to it. Normally I'd have been dancing on my first. But one of them was silver. But when you look how tiny these are, my days, how, you know, that is a little, I say I'll pop a nice clear picture up for you. But that was so exciting. And even, because I didn't realise they clipped Roman coins as well. Look how tiny they get when they're clipped. So lots of them. And the fact you're in this huge, and I would say it was probably, looking how big that field is, 30 acres just for the one field. And this was just, you know, we're all over. But I love the fact they're all different denominations, even down to a copper one. So 6 Roman coins spread over this massive 30-acre field. And then I found a little leather, that would have been attached to probably a leather belt, a little bit of decoration, hard to see, but it's silvered and it's actually got some small engraving on as well. And then a little odd one was this. Now I'm going to have to stop it here and find out. I'm back. Helps if you know what you're talking about before you start, doesn't it? But anyway, it is a Charles I copper Scottish Turner, so the equivalent to 2 pence then, and that is in 1625, between 1625 and 1649, this little coin. So I'll show you a closer up picture of it. So that was quite interesting because that was in a different part of the field. Now the other thing I think was interesting, after finding the Roman coins, we then went and looked at the LiDAR, I don't know how you say it, but maps. We then looked at the historical maps of the area. There is nothing to say, in fact it says there were no Romans in the area. So I find this really interesting, and yet obviously we had, we're not that far from Lincoln, Louth, places like that, which did have Roman occupation. So sometimes maps and everything can tell you don't bother going somewhere, and actually do bother going somewhere, because I've been on sites that were medieval, they're meant to have this, that and the other, and found absolutely nothing. And then this day it might just have been luck. But the coins for the Roman occupation, the first one, the earliest if you like, is Constantine II, and that was from 337 to 340. There were such short reigns that there's so many different ones that it is an absolute minefield. And then the second one was very worn, and that was Valens with Victory advancing left. No, I'm not that clever. I was told this by one of the ID and they showed me what it should look like, which I'll show you as well. And that's 364 AD to 378. And then the last one was Honorius, which was AD 393 to 423. And that was the silver, and I don't even know how you say this, Siliqua? It's Siliqua, the little silver coin. So that's right, because the Roman occupation of England was over in 410. So we're getting right to the end of the Roman occupation. So was this troops, were they marching out? Is that when they lost them? You know, but the fact there was very, you know, and low denominations, if you like, spread over, and not the best condition, though some of them have come up. So I don't know, I just don't know the answer to that. But I know it was well worth battling the wind that day. I mean, I carry my shovel on my shoulder. I couldn't, it smacked me in the face twice in the wind. I I just gave up. We used trowels. Luckily it's really lovely light soil there. And yeah, and my friend's poor son, bless him, he nearly got blown over twice, and she's only tiny, and we were literally leaning against the wind, and then every time the wind stopped, you nearly fell flat on your face. But what an exciting couple of hours. Going back to my other permission, I found a little cut half, because people in those days, if they wanted a lower denomination, they just snipped it, basically. So yeah, that was half of the value of what it would have been when it was whole. And that's, even from that, we were able to tell that was a Henry III voided long cross, and it was hammered in Lincoln, which again is not that far away from me, between 1249 and 1250. That came up in the same place where I've been finding all the World War II stuff. So I love the fact that every time we go out, we never know what we're going to find. It's never a dull day. I still get excited when I find buttons. I am enjoying it so much more now because I still check from time to time, but I pretty much know what the signals are telling me now. When I hear them, and like I did the video about if it's a big area giving a great signal, you know it's going to be a big piece of something you don't want. But if it's a very small, precise, and you can get a two-way signal, where you turn and it'll lock on, then it's worth digging, because all those little Romans were in between lots of other metal that was on the field. That field took me an hour to get my ear in when I first went onto it, because it was full. My other permission, I can keep the iron tone on, because it's just, I can go for an hour and not hear a signal. That's what it's like. Whereas this one, it was blowing my ears off. So literally I cancel all the iron tones out, and then when I'm working across the field, if I get a signal, I'll switch on to iron, double check that it's not a great big signal. If I get iron either side of it, but I'm getting that signal in the middle, and that's when these started popping up. So when people say to you, it is just a case of learning your machine, taking your time, it's true. I say for my first, I think, was it 5 months before I found really anything. And now, I suppose I expect it now. And it is happening. So really exciting. I hope you're having as much fun as well and enjoying your time too. And I'll keep you posted what I find next. Thank you.